because I'm one hell of a salesman. They don't know any better. That's like Tommy Boy. Remember the guy that was selling car parts? Anyway, I'm Justin Chamness, and this is the Real Estate Wholesalers Club, where we're all about getting you to that first deal paycheck, that shut up money that tells all your doubts and all your fears, and most of all, lets you tell your haters and your job, okay, hey, this works, shut up. Today, welcome to the live Q&A on Saturday. It's 10 a.m. Central U.S. time. Thankful for everybody that's watching us out there and that will be joining in. Welcome to the Real Estate Wholesalers Club. We really are all about real estate wholesaling in any technique. We love them all. We like them all. And we try to share as much as we can about them all. Today, I've got some great announcements I want to share with you. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, boom, hit that subscribe button and then click that bell notification if you're on YouTube, because otherwise you might not know when I'm putting out content, and I upload at least 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week. Also, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to realestatewholesalersclub.com and get your free training. Okay, there's free training modules. I'm talking about video training modules, but in addition to that, it comes free with agreements. Oh my gosh, yes, that's right. What other people are selling you, I give away for free. I give away my best content, y'all, my best content. But we're going to talk about content here in a minute, because I have an announcement. Check this out. 4 weeks to mastering your first seller phone call. All right. You know, I'm the 4 weeks guy. I don't know why, but I like the 4 weeks. It's just like it hit me one night sitting on the couch at like 2 a.m. Boom, 4 weeks. Be the 4 weeks guy. You know how to get somebody to a deal in 4 weeks. Why don't you do 4 weeks to your first deal? So we started doing 4 weeks to your first deal, and we loved it. At least I did. A lot of people, we get a lot of great feedback from that. Check us out. That's on the YouTube channel. Lots of 4 weeks to your firsts right there. But we're about to kick off on October 28th. Look, I feel like a weather person. On October 28th at 7 p.m. Central Time, we're going to be doing the 4 weeks to mastering the first seller phone call. Okay, so starting on Monday nights, October 28th, for 4 Mondays in a row, we are going to break down the seller phone call. All right, because guys, this is where the money is made or not made. What amazes me is people are always, forever and a day trying to get a better looking business card, trying to get a better looking website, trying to come up with a cooler looking postcard, trying to come up with a new fancy message for the text blaster or the ringless voicemail. They got all these new fancy CRM products. They got all this knowledge that they got from years of sitting at YouTube University. But when it comes to getting on the phone and making a deal happen, I don't know what to say. Yep, exactly. You know what? I was in the same boat. I did not know what to say. And, you know, honestly, maybe, wink, wink, sometimes maybe I still don't know what to say. I'm always learning and getting better, but I can tell you how to get to a mastery position with this phone call, because this is, you can have all the tools. My point, you can have all the tools. You can have all the bells, all the whistles. You can be spending your money left and right for the best, sharpest looking flyers, marketing, business cards, website landing pages, Facebook cover pages, YouTube channel art, blah, blah, on and on and on and on. You can look great. But if you don't know how to convert a seller into a deal, a motivated seller, then we were just playing around. That's really what that amounts to. Just playing around. I was telling somebody yesterday, I'm not sure who, I can't remember, but I said, you know, being self-employed as a real estate wholesaler is a fine line. There's a fine line between that and, let me share this over to the group, guys. I forget to do that. There's a fine line between being self-employed as a real estate wholesaler and being unemployed. Well, let me explain what I mean. What I mean is that if I'm a businessman, correct? Correct? Everybody? Yep. You're a businessman or you're a businesswoman. All right. Not only that, but what else? You're a busy businessman or businesswoman. And what are you in the business to do? I used to work for a boss who would take leads and he'd wave them in my face. He'd go, that smells like money. Don't you want some of these? All right. So this actually does smell like money. If you're in the business to make a little bit of this, all right, that's the answer to the question. You're in the business to make a little bit of this, maybe a whole lot of this. And if you're not in the business to make a little bit of this today, then my question to you is are you self-employed? Are you a business owner? Or are you just straight up unemployed because you didn't make shit today? You see what I mean? You didn't even push the business forward today. All right. Enough of that. 4 weeks to mastering your first seller phone call. Very important. Got to be able to make money today. Got to be able to close a deal on the phone today. I don't like chasing sellers. We don't chase sellers. We don't beg. And we don't plead. We don't get abused. We don't get beat up. We do it the right way. We do it as professional real estate investors because that's who we are and that's who we love. That was another Tommy Boy reference. Okay. 4 weeks to mastering your first seller phone call, October 28th. I think I beat that into the ground. Get it. Hey, here's the other announcement about it, though. I don't feel like I can give this away. I feel like this needs to be a private VIP and one-on-one mentee privilege sessions. And the reason I say that is because, man, some of y'all out there are smart. Woo! Like I get contacted on YouTube a lot by dudes that are just straight up watching the free content. They don't even check in on the Facebook group. They don't bother to come to the VIP club. They don't sign up for the one-on-one coaching. They just go through the 4 weeks to your first deal training courses. They get the agreements, they put it into action, and boom, they get money. Now, if I were so generous as to lay out the 4 weeks to mastering your first seller phone call to the general public, and I might, I'm not going to keep it up forever available for everyone in perpetuity to watch, but I may make it available to the public, but I'm considering making this a special VIP deal. Now, you might be like, how do I be a VIP? It's simple. Just go to Real Estate Wholesalers Club and click the big old box that says be VIP. All right. Now, there is a cost with that. It's like, it used to be $25 a month, but now it's $100 for a lifetime pass. It gets you into the chat room as well, 24/7. It's pretty cool. All right. So anyway, enough about that. I'll let you know what I decide. But guys, you do not want to miss that. It's super intensive. I could talk about this all day. That's how excited I am. And you notice that I'm trying to. I haven't gotten off this subject in the last 20 minutes. What's going on? We got Edward. We got.
How's it going this morning?
Hey man, it's going pretty good. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, man.
Yeah. We got Rich Rick from LA. He's on. We also have Kelly on here today. And we have a good number of folks watching us today out there in the internet world. So thank you for watching us. We're glad you're here. RealestateWholesaler'sClub.com. Now, all right, let's talk about the subject at hand today. Oh, I got another announcement. We got a guest next week. I announced it in the VIP club, and I don't know if anybody even noticed it, but it was a real subtle announcement. But we got a guest next week, another YouTuber. He's a real estate agent and an agent coach. Okay, and he also does some coaching to investors too. You've probably seen him. He's got a big long beard. Big long beard. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. You got to tune in next Saturday at 10. All right, you got to tune in. I think you will get a kick out of this guy. He is a good dude. Good dude. When I saw him, I was like, "Now there's a good dude. I'd like to know him." And so I that's what I did. I got to know him. I sent him a message, and that's how it works out there in the world. You got to send people messages. You got to let them know. You got to let them know who you are, what you're doing, what you want, what you want, and what you need. Right. All right. Now, let's talk about the subject at hand. I'm going to share my screen with you here. If you guys got Q&A today, by all means, please feel free to jump right in. Here is the realestatewholesaler'sclub.com, the website. You can go there. You can see right below the video, there's free training courses. If you're interested in lease options, click here. If you're interested in virtual co-wholesaling, which is what we're going to talk about today. If you're interested in doing bank-owned wholesaling, boom, all free training modules. I'll show you what it looks like. You could also find us on YouTube or Facebook here. If you slide down, there's lots of other great information here for you as well. But anyway, let's talk about the free training. Let's go over here to the real estate free training. Do you want to virtual co-wholesale? I'm going to click there. You can see on the training module page, my trademark, my big advanced level stogie. Somebody said, "Why do you have a cigar on there?" You must really like smoking cigars. Yeah, that's it. Okay, down here below the video, you can click the blue button, and you'll see under the videos in each training module, if there's a blue button, then there is training materials here. Okay, now, once I click that button, it opens up a Google Drive folder. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit here so you guys can see if it lets me. Yep, it did. Okay. So just download this to your computer, and then you can edit it on your software. Okay, on your computer. You can't edit it right here on the page. So, but let's take a look at it right here on the page. This is the first blue button in the 4 weeks to your first virtual co-wholesale deal. Now, if you're scratching your head and you're saying, first virtual co-wholesale, what is that? Okay, watch the video modules. But what it is mobile wholesaling or joint venture partner wholesaling or co-wholesaling. Okay, all of them mean the same thing. Basically, someone else, another wholesaler, and you are participating as a team, one bringing a property deal, one bringing a property buyer to close a transaction and get both of the wholesalers paid. Okay, so here what we're looking at is a buyer information sheet. Now, from the perspective of the videos, you'll notice when you watch them that I'm talking to you as if you should be the real estate wholesaler that's bringing the buyer. Okay, why do I teach it that way? Well, you certainly can be the real estate wholesaler that's bringing the property, but I like personally being the guy that brings the buyer. It's just fun. I dig it. I like having great buyer relationships. Somebody said, make friends with the money. And I listened. I was like, okay, great. Make friends with the money. Who's got the money? Well, it's not the seller. Well, it's not the wholesaler with the property deal, it's not me. It's got to be the buyer. He's the guy with the money. That makes him the customer. So I take my business model from the approach of the buyer is my customer and the most important person in this transaction. Okay. Now, if you adapt that philosophy of business in your real estate wholesaling business, you will find repeat customers. Duh. Right? That's why I do it. Okay. So here's a buyer information sheet. Real simple, guys. I'm not going to belabor this one. This is how you interview a potential buyer. So if you're building a buyer's list to do joint venture or mobile wholesaling, you want to use something like this to be able to track and understand what your buyers, the customer, wants. Okay. Real simple. Nothing complicated about that. Make your own, download it, make it what you want it to be. Let's go to the next one. This is under training module 3 in the first virtual co-host sale deal. This is 4 weeks training free over here at the realestatewholesalersclub.com. But here under module 3, you'll see a big blue button, just like there was a big blue button under 2. Now, here's just a little clue. In this particular training module set, number 3 blue button and number 4 blue button here, they both have the same exact thing in it. Okay. There's no new stuff in it. It's all the same exact stuff in both blue buttons. So if you're like, this was in the other one. Yeah. I put them both there because I figured no matter what module you're at, you need access to all these documents. So let's just take a look at one of these because they're both the same. And you'll see it pulls up here a folder in Google Drive again. And I'm going to enlarge it again. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Hopefully. Okay, it says the top one is agreement to purchase real estate. All right, now let me zoom in. Here we go. Now, if you're going to be bringing the property deal, then this might be important for you. If you are bringing the buyer, then this may not be as important for you. Now, why do I say that? Well, because if you're the wholesaler bringing the property deal, then you're going to need a purchase and sale agreement to use with the buyer or to use with the homeowner, the seller, to get the property deal on board. If you're bringing the buyer, then you're already going to be working with a wholesaler that has one of these filled out already. So you might not need it in your transaction. Okay, simple enough. Everybody gets that. Hey, welcome everybody that's watching. Thank you for watching. Guys, this is about the most simple agreement to purchase real estate that I have ever witnessed in my whole entire life. Super, super easy. We're going to go through all the agreements in a joint venture, mobile wholesaling, co-wholesaling, virtual co-wholesaling. It's sad that it has 100 different names, but there's been several coaches that's come out with this, and they all have their own name for it. I'm trying to come up with a name for it myself. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Agreement to purchase real estate. State of Missouri. No, that's Missouri. Okay. That's where I am, by the way. Do not put where I am. Put where the property deal is. If it's in the state of Wisconsin, then put Wisconsin there. County of, what county is it in? Is it in Jackson County? Is it in Fayette County? Is it in Lafayette County? Is it in Dodson County? You put it there. Date, that's today's date. That's pretty simple. All right, guys, this agreement is entered into between the parties, and believe me, sometimes it feels like a party. Buyers and sellers below in consideration of and subject to the following terms and conditions. Parties, blank and or assigns as buyers. Now, if you're filling this out as a wholesaler, your name or your company name goes there, okay? Because you are acting as the buyer. And the next blank as sellers. Now, that would be the homeowner, okay? Property address. We all know what that means. In the city of, what's the city? County of, again, the county. And the state of, again, the state, okay? Price. We all know what that means too, okay? Deposit. This is earnest money deposit. Is it 100? Is it 10? Okay. Put something there. $10, $100, whatever the deal may be. Closing date. When do you anticipate closing this deal with the homeowner? Provisions. Okay. Now, closing date, you might put that 10 days. It might be 15 days. It might be 21. It might be 28. It might be 30. It might be 45. I don't know. It's kind of deal specific. Seller understands that this is a cash transaction with no contingencies for financing unless noted otherwise in the comments below. Now, you may need to edit this and put those in the comments below. I don't know. This is kind of, you can make it fit your deal. Seller understands that buyer has the right to market and assign. Transfer this contract to another buyer if buyer chooses. Okay, plain and simple. Now, it was also addressed up here at the top. When we saw it, it said parties, your name or your company name, and or assigns. Okay, see, that's going to allow you to assign this contract. But it's even more clear down here in this sentence when it says seller understands the buyer has the right to market and assign. Seller understands that buyer is acting as a principal in the transaction and is not working as a licensed real estate agent or broker representing anyone in the transaction. Now, if you are a real estate agent, and be patient with me. I know it seems like I'm going over some elementary things here, but I'm going to jump into the JV agreement here in a second. Okay, we're getting there, guys. Hang on. Hang on. I'm coming for you. We're going to get there. All right. If you are a real estate agent, you might need to edit this and say, I am a real estate agent, but I am not acting as such at this time. Or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a real estate agent. But you guys would know better about how to word that. All right. The next sentence. Seller understands that buyer has 25 days to properly inspect the property before closing. Woo! Okay, you probably will have to edit that 25. Okay. But this is an inspection clause. And it says here that you could back out if you or your designees do not like the property. Okay. All right. But, and that's good for you. That's good for you. Let you out of just free get out of jail sentence. Okay. Get out of jail. You might need to word that differently a little bit too. If you want something differently said, then word it slightly differently. Okay. Now you can see it says here, all parties agree that the subject property is being sold as is conditioned unless noted otherwise. And seller agrees to deliver property free and clear unless noted otherwise. Okay. Now, what remains on the bottom of the document is a blank line where you can add extra comments and you can sign. And that's it. That's the entire agreement. So pretty simple stuff, not complicated whatsoever. You could probably, like, remember I said last time, I said you could do this on a napkin. You could do it on a napkin and they'd probably be okay with that. It's really, everything in real estate is negotiable. Okay. Everything. So do not tell yourself, well, I'm not an attorney. I can't modify this document. Well, why not? Is there a law that says only attorneys can modify a document that you want to use? No, there is no law that says that. Okay. Now, if you don't know how to modify a document, then maybe you should consult an attorney. But if you need to go in and make some subtle changes, change the dates, change the days of inspection, change this, change that, then that's what it is there for. You do not have to have a law license or go to pass the bar exam. Oh, by the way, Clint, you're not here today because you're at a real estate conference, but I started watching Suits last night, man. Started watching Suits. Actually, just got through the pilot, man. Long show, but it was really good, man. Really good. I enjoyed it. It got better towards the end. All right. Now, you can modify agreements. That's the long story short. Now, let's talk about an assignment agreement. You're going to need an assignment agreement. This is an assignment agreement. It's also in the folder. It's easy to fill out as well. Subject property. This is the property address. Legal description. I normally put down to be determined by title company. This agreement is made between blank assignor. That would be whoever is the buyer on the purchase and sale agreement. It might be your joint venture partner. So whoever is the buyer on the purchase and sale agreement, they are going on this line here as assignor. And blank assignee, that is your buyer. The guy coming in to buy the deal. The end buyer, the assignee coming in to swoop up the deal. He's going to have the deal assigned to him by the assignor, which is the buyer on the original purchase and sale agreement, which we just went over. Okay. Regarding purchase of the above referenced subject property, whereas buyer on the purchase and sale agreement has entered into a purchase and sale agreement with homeowner or seller on purchase and sale agreement for the purchase of subject property, and whereas buyer on the purchase and sale agreement wishes to assign its rights, interest, and obligations in the purchase and sale agreement, it is hereby agreed between the assignor, the buyer on the purchase and sale agreement, and the assignee, your buyer, the end buyer, right, as follows. The assignee shall pay assignor. The end buyer will pay the buyer on the purchase and sale agreement a non-refundable assignment fee of blank dollars. Okay, so let's say $10,000 payable blank with signing of contract and balance at close. This is where you put down $10,000 assignment fee with $2,000 with coming to the assignor, which is the buyer on the purchase and sale agreement. That's your JV partner, with the signing of the contract and the balance to be paid at closing. So in other words, he would put down $2,000 today, and he would still have $8,000 to pay at closing in assignment fee. You can get $1,000 then, and your JV partner can have $1,000. See, so now that's one way of doing it. But remember, everything's negotiable. You can structure this however you need to. Assignees, number 2, assignee's inspection period shall expire upon execution of this assignment. Assignee accepts all terms and conditions of the contract for sale and purchase between the buyer and seller in its entirety. In other words, yes, you've made up your mind and you're stepping in here in place of the original buyer on the purchase and sale agreement, who is now called the assignor. All right. And you, the assignee, are now going to be the new buyer. Number 3, assignee acknowledges receipt of legible copies of the original contract for sale and purchase in its entirety. Okay. You must. Listen to me, guys. Listen to me. I am going to stop sharing the screen for 1 second and tell you this. If you're doing a joint venture co-host sale deal and you are bringing the buyer, or you are doing a ugly house wholesale deal and you've got a property under contract directly yourself, and you are bringing a buyer in, and you're going to assign this deal over to a buyer, you must. I hear people debate it. I hear people try to fly under the radar. I hear people try to not do this and get away with it. Don't do this. You must. You must, you must, you must. If you want to be an integrable, ethical, and proper real estate wholesaler, you must share with the end buyer that is signing the assignment agreement the original purchase and sale agreement. How in the world are they going to buy a contract they cannot and have never even seen? Let them have it. Well, but then they're going to figure out how much money I make. Good. Who cares? If they want the house, they're going to buy the house. This isn't a wedding, right? If they don't want it, they won't. Well, what happens if I got an assignment fee that's $17,841, and I don't know, I don't want them to see I'm making that kind of money now. I mean, they might be like, well, I'm not paying that much and letting that wholesaler make that kind of. Yeah, you're right. You're probably going to have problems from the hard money guy. Okay. You're probably going to have problems from everybody making an $18,741 assignment fee. So maybe you should double close and do a double escrow instead of an assignment. If you're going to do an assignment, I recommend 10K or less. Anything beyond that, a double close. Okay? It saves you headaches. But it costs money to do a double close. I got to pay me a transactional funder. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But you're going to make that money too. It's the cost of doing business. Nobody gets rich in this business alone. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. Nobody does. All right. This sentence right here, number 3, assignee, the end buyer acknowledges receipt of legible copies of the original contract for sale and purchase in its entirety, including all addendums associated with that contract. Now, it's saying you must share your base contract with the end buyer. Well, my joint venture partner doesn't want me to see the contract. Then you shouldn't even be in the deal in the first place. Sorry if I'm preaching at you, but for real. Well, I've been working this deal with this JV partner guy. Now I got a buyer, and the buyer wants to see the original contract, and the joint venture partner doesn't want me to see it. He's probably a con artist. He doesn't even have it under contract. And now your ass is out here flapping in the wind, waiting for somebody to come along and smack you. That's exactly what's happening. Do not fall prey. Watch the videos. I talk about how to avoid this problem. If that cat won't show you the original purchase and sale agreement right off the bat, then he is not worth messing with. He is not a joint venture partner for you. Do not do it. Run. Okay. He is going to get you in trouble. If he cannot and is not willing to produce a purchase and sale agreement easily and readily with his signature and the homeowners on it, you don't even know if you've got a deal. You got a guy telling you he's got a deal. Okay. But when you do the assignment contract, in every single assignment contract I have ever witnessed, this phrase is in it. You must show. Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to stop screaming and yelling. I get worked up on this stuff, y'all. All right. Number 4, additional terms. The assignment contract is non-assignable, and that means your buyer is not going to be able to assign this again to somebody else. All right. We don't want a daisy chain. We want a clean, easy, nice deal. Disclosures. All right. Assignor and affiliated associates make no warranties, blah, blah. Assignee acknowledges they are conducting a transaction dealing directly with the assignor for the purchase, blah, 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 blah. Assignee, assignor, sign. Boom. Done. Done. All right. The next document in the folder is, again, the same document I showed you before, the buyer intake. You can see I've put a little logo on it with my phone number. I call my buyer program a dedicated buyer program. Why? Because I want my buyers to be dedicated and come back and keep buying from me over and over and over again. Yes, dedicated. There is some accountability involved here. I have no qualms in telling my buyers, hey, listen, I need $2,500 down. If you want to be one of my dedicated buyers, I need to know I'm getting paid. If you want to know that I'm bringing you deals before I bring them to everybody else, I need to know I'm getting paid. I'm not doing my business for free. I got in the business with the crazy idea of somehow turning a profit today. Okay. Dedicated buyer program. That we're not going to talk about that again. Let's slip down to the last document, which is the non-circumvention, non-disclosure, and confidentiality agreement. This is also commonly referred to as a joint venture agreement. All right. I had somebody blowing me up the other day, and they were like, I need help filling this out. And I'm like, dude, it's 3 lines, man. It's your name, somebody else's, and like one other thing. I mean, it's pretty easy to fill out. But now let's understand it a little bit more today. Okay, so let's understand it. The non-circumvention. What does that mean, guys? In a nutshell, that means you and your JV partner are agreeing to not go around one another. Yeah. Go around each other's backs. Yeah. Try to steal his property deal from him. Yeah. He's trying to steal your buyer. Yeah. You guys are great partners. Yeah. Well, a non-circumvention means I'm not going to go around you. And then it's also a non-disclosure and confidentiality agreement, which means I'm not going to share your secrets, Mr. JV partner, and you're not going to share my secrets. Non-circumvention means you're not going to steal my people. And non-disclosure and confidentiality means you're not going to share my secrets. Okay, you're not going to steal my list and run off with it. And you know what I mean? This agreement entered into on this blank day of blank 2020, 2019, whatever it is for the professional association and arrangement of non-circumvention, non-disclosure, and confidentiality between blank, that's you, whose office is at, and maybe I should put in there in parentheses, you. Oh, I take it for granted, guys. I've done these so many times. I take it for granted. You know, you can figure this out, but it's not always obvious. Sometimes if you just ask me, hit me up, text me, grab me on Facebook, say, what's going on here? Okay. Confidentiality between you, whose office is at your address, and your JV partner, whose principal place of business is at the address, hereinafter called the parties. Yeah. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. It's a party. The parties with this agree to respect the integrity and tangible value of this agreement between them. Very flowery, gracious words. I love it. All right. Now, these parties are going to respect the integrity. And this agreement, in big letters, this agreement is a perpetuating a guarantee for 5 years. You might need to edit that. from the date of execution and is to be applied to any and all transactions, present and future, of the introducing party, including subsequent follow-up, repeat, extended, renegotiated, and new transactions, regardless of the success of the project. That means anything we're working on now and for the next 5 years, if you somehow got this deal, if it didn't work out in the next 6 months for you and me, but then somehow in the 10th month you pulled it off without me knowing, you still owe me. Okay. You might not want to make it for 5 years. Now, this is a time-based non-circumvention, non-disclosure, and confidentiality agreement. But now listen, right below that paragraph, you'll see it says, well, let's finish the paragraph first. The introducing party blank, oh, that's you, okay, introducing your buyers, or it could be you introducing your property deals, is entitled to blank % profits from any successfully closed and funded real estate transactions using the introducing party's introduction. In other words, if you're going to use my buyer, you got to pay me a certain % of any deal that we do on any buyers I introduce in the next 5 years. Now that's time-based. You see, it's time-based over the next 5 years. Now, if you don't want that to be the ruling factor, then below that paragraph, it says, please check box if applicable. This agreement is limited to referred buyers for property address blank. If you're just wanting to do one address, one deal with this JV partner, and never again, never anymore, then check the box and put the address down there, right there. Don't forget to put in, you know, what your percentage is for pay right here. And don't forget to come up here and change the 5 years to 90 days or 6 months or whatever, what have you. Okay. Now, if you want to do more than one deal with this guy, a bunch of deals, then you're going to want to put down nothing in the agreement is limited to referred buyers for property address. Leave it blank because you want it to be a blanket, not one limited address. Okay. Because of this agreement, the parties involved in this transaction may learn from one another or the principals, the names and telephone numbers of investors, borrowers, lenders, agents, brokers, banks, lending corporations, individuals and or trusts or buyers and sellers hereinafter called contacts. Yeah, I've got my contacts. I got my buyers list. This cat's going to try to steal my buyer off my buyers list? No. Signed an agreement. Okay. Oh, this guy's going to try to steal my property deal and go around my back and talk to the seller? No. That's your contact. The parties with this acknowledge, accept, and agree that the identities of the contacts will be recognized by the other party as exclusive and valuable contacts of the introducing party and will remain so for the duration of the agreement. Yeah, don't go around me. Now, below that, the parties agree to keep confidential the names. In other words, he's not going to steal it. He ain't even going to whisper it to nobody. Don't tell my secrets. Such confidentiality will include any names, addresses, telephone, telex, facsimile, and or other pertinent information disclosed or revealed to either party. The parties agree not to disclose, reveal, or make any use of information during discussions. They won't write, print, paint, stamp, or stain any of this. All right. Now, further down, the parties agree that due to the many variables around each business financial transaction that will occur because of this agreement, the commissions to be paid or the fee structure between the parties can vary. A separate fee commission agreement will outline compensation for each business financial transaction. You see where I'm reading that? Right here at the very top. What's it saying? It's saying that I am going to have another piece of paper that shows on each deal what I am to be paid. And you might be going, okay, well, what is that? What is that? Okay, let's talk about it. The rest of this is a lot of mumbo jumbo. It's really good. You need it. You should use it. But what I'm talking about is an invoice, and that is right here. Now you can see I've blacked out some of my private information. This is an old one from way back in the day, I guess. When you go have your buyer sign the assignment agreement, and the assignment agreement then has to also be signed by your JV partner if he's the one bringing the property deal, then it is intelligent for both of you, no matter which direction you're going, if you're the property bringer or if you're the buyer bringer, to have your invoice drawn up at the same time as the assignment agreement and have both you and your JV partner sign it. Now, this is an additional document to the JV agreement that states for this particular transaction what your share means in dollars and cents. And he's going to sign it, and it's going to be filled with instructions to the title company on how to pay you and where to send the money. Some people are like, oh no, an invoice. What do I do? What's an invoice? How do I get an invoice? An invoice is a letter. That's all it is. Drop the fear factor out of it. It's a letter. An invoice is a letter. That's all I did is I went to Word and I drew this up. I've had people say, can you send that to me without the black crap on it so that I can edit it? And guys, it's a letter. You know, like, you're going to have to edit it anyway. You're going to have to put your address on the top, your name on the top. Reason, blank buyer. Okay. What's the JV partner's name? The buyer. Or what's your buyer's name? Either one will work here. All right. Property address. What's the address of the property? To whom it may concern. Thank you for all your hard work on this transaction. Please remit to, this is going to be you. All right. In the amount of blank. This is instructions on how to pay you. You should be able to fill this out and know what these numbers are once you have an assignment agreement locked in with a buyer or an agreement, and he's going to sign the assignment agreement. Then have this one signed at the same time, you and your JV partner. That way you have a joint venture agreement, but you also have a separate document with instructions on how you are to be compensated for this particular real estate address transaction deal. All right. You should be able to fill this out with that amount of blank. You should be able to know what 50% of the assignment fee is at this point, okay, in the transaction. Now, please wire funds to Equity Bank. Now, if you're listening to me out there and you want to wire funds to Equity Bank, go ahead. You can put my name down there. All right. You want to put your bank address here, or you'll want to put your address and say, mail me a check. I don't know how you want to collect your money, guys, but put it here. I like to have mine wired. Look, it says down below, if wiring the funds is not possible, the check may be mailed to our above address. It is possible for us to make arrangements to pick it up also. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. In other words, I want to get that money. Let me know. And then I sign it. Now, what is it missing? It's missing another signature. Right here, it needs to have a signature that needs to be the seller, not the seller's signature, but it needs to be the JV partners. Man, what are you doing to me, Google? No. Yeah, it needs to be your JV partners. Okay. Once you and your JV partner sign that agreement, you are good to go. Good to go, baby. Yeah, that's right. You're good to go because you've got the purchase and sale agreement. So you got a contract on a house. That's your JV partner probably brought that. You guys have a JV agreement. That's that non-circumvention, convention, confidentiality and non-disclosure. stuff. You have an assignment agreement with your end buyer, between your end buyer and your JV partner if he's the one that brought the property deal. And along with that goes an invoice that is instructions to the title company on how to pay you your share of the deal. And both you and your JV partner have signed that invoice. So everyone at the title company that looks at that will say, yep, I see it. We got to cut this dude a check, and he's already signed off on it and everything. Everybody's already signed off on it. Cool. Let's cut him a check. And you might be like, no. Don't cut me no check. Send me a wire. I want that money today. Because if you go cutting me a check, you know what they're going to do at the bank? They're going to act like jackasses. And they're going to hold it for 10 days or something crazy. Okay. All right. That is the joint venture co-host sale agreement packet. So what do you think? Any questions? I'm sure there are some questions out there. I know it took some time to go through that. Almost an hour is what I've been jabbing over here, just blah, 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 blah. But I wanted to break it down for you pretty simple where you know what to do. Okay. 4 weeks to mastering. The first seller phone call. Don't forget. And a higher pressure system is moving in. Okay. Any questions? You guys have been super quiet. Of course, this content's been real mundane. Like, it's been mundane. Who's got a question, a story, something inspirational? Somebody inspire me. I want to feel inspired. Oh, I see the cameras flying on. Microphones coming open, coming live.
Hey, I got a question, Justin.
Yeah, what's up?
How do I contact the? I've seen a piece of property. It was owned by an LLC. How do I contact their number or their address so I can send them a postcard or something?
That's a great question, and it's a tough question. It's a tough one. Yeah.
I know where they're located. I found out where the LLC located is in Georgia, but I don't show an address.
You know, it's easier to skip trace people, private individuals, their names, first name, last name, you know, that kind of thing. When it comes to LLCs, you know, that's why they were made. Okay. They were made so you can't find them. You know what I mean? In a lot of cases. In some cases, though, you can Google the LLC name and the state, and you'll come up with a website or a web page or something, and then you can find. You just have to dig in, man. There's no simple answer to find an LLC contact information. I know that some people are like, well, you can go to the business website for the state in which you live, and you can look it up on there. And okay, but sometimes it's only got maybe a registered office address. Okay, it's not necessarily like a phone number. And so, yeah, you can find an address to send that LLC a piece of snail mail. But as far as finding a phone number, if they don't want you to find it, you won't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I spent literally, and I know this sounds goofy and like I'm making it up, but I promise you I'm not. I spent about 2 months of my life trying to figure out how to get LLC phone numbers. And, you know, that's the conclusion I came to, is that, you know, if some of these guys don't want to be found, shit, you ain't finding them. I mean, unless you're like the district attorney or something, you know, I'm sure he can find them. I can't. You know?
Yeah, this one house been by my sister's house. It's been vacant for about a year now. I noticed the property taxes and everything being paid on it, but it's owned by LLC and it's just being vandalized and tore up. I'm pretty sure you want to sell it. I'm not sure. But.
Well, you know, look up on the property tax records for the county and probably find an address for the LLC right there even. And then you can send them something in the mail. Maybe they'll reply.
Right. Okay.
Send them something every day. Actually, what you can do is you want to make it look as personal of a piece of mail as you can make it look, so they'll open it. You know, make it look like it came from one of their grandkids or from grandma or something. You know,
Right.
Because if you just send them a postcard, they're probably just hitting the garbage with everybody else's postcards and stuff. That's what I recommend. Great question, man. I wish I had a better, you know, it pains me a little when people ask me questions. Kelly did this to me yesterday. God,
Hey, Kelly.
guy, everybody's asking me questions I ain't got good answers for. Now, I got the answers, but they're not answers that make people feel good.
Well, it made me feel good. I mean, I just got to do more research. That's all. Like you say.
And you
I
may
thought
not.
I thought maybe it was a app or another way I can get around finding an address or a number.
Hey,
I run across a lot of LLCs up here. I don't know what a lot of people buying property and just let them sit up and they end up put in an LLC. Maybe they just sitting on them.
Well, you know, it's a lot of investors probably. You know, that's typically who you're finding when you do when you find an LLC owned property. It's typically an investor or somebody with a little bit more, you know, real estate savvy about them, and but not always. I mean, because like look at the one you're talking about. It's just getting jacked up, man, getting vandalized and torn up, and what are you gonna do? I mean, the guy's just letting it sit there happen. Whoever it is, maybe they don't even know.
Right, because they're in a different state.
That's what you do. You take pictures of it, man. Boom. We're coming up with ideas now.
Right.
Take pictures of the crap going on that house and send it to the guy and say, look at what's happening. Didn't know if you knew. If you'd like to sell it, I'm local and I'd love to talk.
Right. But I got to find an address to send it to.
That's probably on a county property tax.
Well, no, when I looked on the houses in Illinois. I looked in the Illinois property taxes. I didn't look in because I don't think it's registered in Georgia, but it's just got the name of the company and that's it. Say LLC out of Georgia, something like that. They didn't have an address on it.
It says LLC in Georgia.
Right.
Okay, so you'll have to go to the Georgia website, the state of Georgia business website, and do a search
for that LLC.
That's it, man. I think every state's got one now, and it's pretty cool. You can go there. It'll be called the Georgia State Department of Business or whatever. You know, everybody, they call them different around the country. But they have a website, and it'll say entity search. There'll be a button on there that says entity search, and you'll want to go there and just put in the box what the name of the LLC is, and it'll pull up all kinds of good stuff, probably maybe even phone numbers.
Right, that's some good stuff. I'm gonna take some pictures of it next time I'm over there, like you say, and
yeah,
try to find a place I'll send it to them. But they probably don't even know.
No. And if they do know, they might not know the full extent of the thing.
Right.
You know, and it costs money when you're out there. Vincent is somebody watching this, and he said there's an app. Let us know what it is, man. If you got a better idea, that's what this is all about. Q&A, dude. I'm not the answer, man. Shit. I'm not even the flip man. That's somebody else.
Yeah, that's the flip man. I've watched him before. He got somewhere else too.
Man, I love the flip man. I wish he'd come on this show, right? Hey, flip man, if you're watching this by any chance, and I bet you're not, but if you are, man, let's get on.
Yeah,
here,
I'm next time I get on, I'm gonna send him, I'm gonna message him and tell him that tip in that Justin on the wholesaling club wants you to come on.
Oh man, that'd be so. Would you guys like to see the flip man on here?
Yeah, he'd be something.
I wouldn't mind watching the flip man. I'd be on here. That'd be great, man. I'm down with that. We got a guest next week too. He's pretty cool, but the flip man now. He's
you
cool.
ever watch the guy? What's his name? He like a Korean guy, mixed to millions or something like that.
Nope, don't know. Vincent says that website is called Landglide. So yeah, you can check that out, man. Landglide.
Yeah, I used to have Landglide. I don't think Landglide gonna give it to me.
I usually check this.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I don't think so either, man. But go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
No, I've gotten some pretty good results just from checking, the Secretary of State site, doing a business entity search, and then it usually pulls up who owns the entity.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That's what my experience has been too, Rick.
Yeah, I think that's a little more better than Glen Glide, because Glen Glide, they didn't get it.
Yeah. So yeah, it might be called something different. It might be the Department of Business, or it might be the Secretary of Commerce, or shit. I don't know. Each state calls it something different, but they've all got that website, and it'll have an entity search. Yeah, that's excellent, Rick. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. Vincent's saying that app lets you know who owns any piece of property in the last appraisal. Okay. I'm not familiar with it. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about it, but I've never actually used it, to be frank. I don't know why I'm saying that lately, to be frank.
Well, I mean, I noticed I used Land Glide before, but once you click on it, it brings up the information from the county website.
Yeah. So basically, you could just look it up
Right,
yourself.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You could just look it up yourself at the county tax assessor's office website or whatever. Vincent says, look down the app and you'll get the address to the second address. You'll get, yeah.
Yeah, I give it a shot.
You might check it out, man. Yeah, just see what you think. He says it's pretty cool. Maybe they've updated it too since last time. Who knows? Right. Hey, anyway, that's what's up, guys. Any more Q&A that we can do here? Any questions, comments, concerns, stories? Somebody want to share their passions? No, don't do that.
So how do you get in that class you was talking about, the 4 weeks to the one you was advertising?
Are you a one-on-one student of mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you in it, man.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were. I was like, I'm
yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
like you. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So you'll definitely be in it no matter what. And
okay.
It'll also be broadcast in the VIP room. So check out the VIP room if you're like, hey, the one-on-one coaching, I'm not interested in doing that, and this is for students. Hey, it's also for VIP, and VIP is the chat room that we have, and all the students that I have are in it. But also, if you want to just join the VIP, you can join the VIP at realestatewholesalersclub.com. Now, you're also in the VIP, Edward, right. So don't worry about that. So all students are automatically in the VIP. But if you don't want to be a student and you want to be VIP, then go to the website, figure it out. It's easy to do. And it'll be broadcast there as well, for sure. I feel like this is something that needs to be private between us guys. You know what I mean? Because right. I'm going to be dropping some serious intense knowledge, and we're going to be really getting in the trenches with it and doing some role playing. And we're going to work, man. Like, we're going to work for like an hour on each segment of the call. And we're going to practice, and we'll practice. That's how you get good. So the money's made right there. Hello, it's me. All right, guys. What else is going on in y'all's worlds? Anything?
I have a question.
Yeah.
An inspirational deal and something else. I lose my mind when I'm on this thing, but my question is, last week we were talking about lease options, and you were talking about filling out the forms. You were kind of role playing with yourself, and you were talking about the homeowner, and you saying how you were, going to pre-screen these people, and you said something like the homeowner says, well, I don't want just anybody coming in there and occupying my house. And you said, oh, no, you'll be completely in control of that. Is that correct? I mean, is that what I said? I mean, is that what you said?
Yeah, let's role play. Let's role play right now. You be the homeowner, and you throw that objection at me.
Well, how do I know who you're going to put in? I know you said you're going to pre-screen them, but how do I know I'm just not going to get any, crackhead in there or whatever? Somebody's going to trash my house.
Yeah, that's a great question. We have a very stringent background check requirement, and we also have we basically undress these folks in every possible way except the the one that puts you in jail. And so we really know a lot about them, and they really want to be homeowners. So these are not really your typical renters. Have you had a bad experience before with somebody or something?
Yes, I've had bad renters before, tenants, but I was in control. I was able to evict them if I found out they were, doing anything bad or pissing off the neighbors or.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Well, yeah, it's the same exact way here, Kelly. If you will have the final say, you'll have the approval before they even get a chance to move in. You'll get to approve them or disapprove them. And then, of course, if something goes wrong during the lease term and you wanted or need to evict them, then, by all means, you have that right and that authority, and there's nothing here taking away from that. So does that make you feel more comfortable, or probably not?
Yeah, it sure does. So do you, when you get your person in there, do you send me over their information or whatever do I get the particulars on them if you run them through that service you were telling me about?
Yeah. Once they've seen the property and they like it, and we feel like they would be a good candidate for buying the home, then they will go through a background check with mysmartmove.com, which is run by TransUnion, the credit bureau.
Right.
And so once we get that information back, then I will submit that information and them over to you for your final approval.
Oh, okay. That sounds way better.
Okay, great.
More gooder.
So if all that feels comfortable, is there anything that would keep us from moving forward right now, Kelly?
No, that's my only fear, that I'll still be in somewhat control in case something goes wrong.
Okay, so if I draw up these documents where you're completely and totally in control, like we just discussed, what happens then?
Oh, I'm ready to move forward as long as.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm ready to move forward.
All right.
Okay, so there's my question. You asked earlier for a inspirational thing or whatever, and you said that you weren't giving good questions. That deal that we talked about yesterday, I basically told them the same thing you told me, and about as far as not kicking my tenants out prior to closing. And the guys, I said, maybe we can work something out, as far as I'll try and get them moved, quicker than the 30 days. So you can, have access. And then that one property they can obviously have right away.
Yeah.
And the guy says, great, I can work with that. So anyway.
So what's he going to do? Is he going to close the other ones early? What's he doing?
We're going to try and close on all three. And then he's got access to the vacant one right away. And then I'm going to work on trying to get those people out, either kind of giving them cash for keys or some kind of moving assistance or something. But I didn't lose him, I guess, is my point. So that you helped me out.
You didn't lose him, and you feel like your scenario is a good one where you're not putting yourself out there in ways that are more risk than you're comfortable with? Right.
I just told him, I said, man, going into winter, I don't want to end up with 3 vacant houses trying to, not rehab them, but dress them back up and try and re-rent them. I mean, that usually takes a little bit of time. So he says, well, I can understand that. So,
yeah.
So I think we're good to go. But anyway, I just want to tell you did help me yesterday because, that's basically what I told him. So
I didn't do much, man, but
you did.
I'm glad it worked out, or is working out.
It gave me the confidence, you know what I mean? Because I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't want to lose this deal.
Oh no, man! You're great. You're doing good. You're doing good.
Cool.
I think I don't see one problem wrong with that deal whatsoever. Not from what you've described to me. It sounds like every other deal that I've ever done that worked.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you're probably all good. Usually, guys like that don't tire kick you for that long. I mean, he's probably pretty serious, is what I mean.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, good. Anybody got anything else? Anything?
Is that eviction process is it rough, a hard process? Or, I mean, if you got tenants, how long do the eviction process usually take? if you have to evict someone?
Kelly's talking about somebody that's not a bad tenant. It's just the house is being sold and they need to move for the new buyer. The new owner doesn't want.
So wouldn't that new owner handle that?
Well, that's all negotiable in real estate, man. I mean, it really is. It could be the old owner's responsibility before they close, or it could be the new buyer's responsibility after they close. It's kind of like how it got put together. How did you guys want to do it? I've had guys close and then allow a tenant to stay for 30 to 45 days.
Right.
I
would think because the new buyer, maybe he's buying it for a rental process. He may want to keep the tenant.
Yeah. In this case, he's not, right, Kelly?
Yeah, he's wanting to rehab them and flip them. So he wanted them vacant at the day of closing. And my concern was, hey, I don't want to kick these people out in case you bail on me, earnest money or not. Even if he gave me a decent earnest money, I don't want to end up with 3 empty houses, and trying to re-rent them just because this guy walked. So that's what the issue was there. I just didn't feel comfortable kicking them out prior to closing.
They're not ready to buy, the renters? Maybe
I haven't even approached them. I wanted to sell them all 3 as a package deal.
Okay.
And this guy's got some kind of a construction business. So, the day of the closing, he wants keys and he wants to be able to move his crews in there and start, rehabbing and doing whatever they're going to do. And I was like, man, I just do not feel comfortable with that until I have, I'll help you evict them, because some of them actually both of them have been pretty long-term tenants. So I want to make sure I've got cash in hand before I go booting these people out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
And I want to give them, at least 30 days to get out. I'll try and help them move quicker than that. But yeah, I was just, that's why I called Justin. I was just like, well, I don't want to lose this guy, but I also don't want to be crappy to my tenants either,
Yeah, what goes around comes around. You be crappy to them now, you probably have to need them again later.
Right, exactly.
Good rapport with them.
Wouldn't that be weird if you ended up renting a house from them someday? They're like 45 days into your new lease. They're like, okay, it's time for you to get the hell out. Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah.
Man, I can't wait, man.
To answer the question though about evictions that might take 30 to 45 days or 60 or 90. It kind of depends a little bit too on where you're at and how quick the system's working and what all is involved and going on there. But yeah, it's not that quick, but it's not horribly slow neither. But but it could hurt you if you're a landlord and you've got.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest fear, man. Getting tenants in that you can depend on paying a rent, or either that you don't have to evict, because there's so many people, they do some shyster stuff just to get in.
Yeah, that's true. And the best you can do is vet them really well. Use the background check, My Smart Move. Make a call, pick up the phone and call, say, hey, does so-and-so work here? How long have they worked here? They said they worked here for 24 months or longer. Is that true? Okay, great. Okay. And they told us that they're bringing in blank. Oh, we can't share that with you, sir. Oh, okay. Well, no problem. At least they work there. Thanks. Like you gotta do some calling. You got to check up on people.
Well, my brother, the reason I said that, because my brother, he got some properties he rent out, and he did all that you were saying. He said he screened these people. They were so nice, man. He just knew he had the good people, but they was actually renting for somebody else. So he screened the property for them, and then they let somebody else move in. So he didn't know. He just thinking they were on it. They paid the rent for about maybe 6 or 8 months. Then after then, it was all downhill. So when he tried to contact the people that he had investigated, they told, and they kept having an excuse where they couldn't get in contact with him. When he went to evict him, he was almost a year into the property. He said, man.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that.
That should
crazy
be
shit
illegal.
right there.
Subleasing.
That is illegal.
Yeah, that's illegal. But they don't care. If somebody pays somebody to do something, they don't care. All they gonna do is come back and say, "Well, I was renting to them. They were just living with me."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's why I like wholesale lease options, huh?
Yes.
Wholesale them babies. Man, I tell you, I've had some tight spots with some tenants. I have, and I don't like it. And
come and think about it. That's a good report builder when talking to some people. They talking about, what if I get some tenants and I tell them about that story.
Yeah, it's okay to tell folks that you've been in the trenches a little bit. It's okay to tell them that you've had some bad experiences and share with them, hey, I know what it looks like when it's bad, and I also know what it looks like when it's good. So, my experiences have kind of helped me be who I am today. And this one here, this bad experience, I'm pretty sure we're not going to have that one ever again. So,
right.
And people like you because you're real, you're not perfect, you're like everyone else. And I find that to be the case, at least for me. I like when I share with people like that, it seems to work for me.
Right.
What's up, everybody? Anybody else? Rick, what you got out there, man? You want to say anything? Next week we got a guest coming on, y'all. You can't miss it. It's gonna be a blast.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have a kind of an open question because I've done this both directions. It's a little bit off topic, but do you ever draw a fine line about when you just send somebody an offer compared to just a letter of intent? Because I've done it both ways and I've gotten kind of, good and bad from both sides of it. So just kind of curious on yours or the rest of the group's thoughts on that.
Yeah. When do I decide to do one or the other?
Yeah. If there's like some sort of breaking point there where you decide to, okay, I'm just going to send them a letter of intent.
Yeah. If there's more than one party that has to be involved in this, in other words, like if I'm on the phone with a homeowner and I know that this gentleman is going to have to discuss this with his wife and she's at work and she's not going to be home until tonight at 6:30, and I'll send a letter of intent. Okay. Because I am anticipating more questions and more discussion, but I want to bullet point out what's happening here so that she can get quickly on the same page with he and I. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, totally.
And then, but if I'm on the phone with a homeowner and it feels like we're good to go, like they're both sitting right there and we're, like this is going to happen fairly quickly for us all, then I'll just go ahead and write into the agreement. They're almost identical anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I was off by I had a guy wanted $599 for it and I was really looking at $540. So I just, instead of popping him an offer, I sent him a letter of intent so he could discuss it, with his wife for $540 instead. And then it was just crickets. And I'm like, I probably just should have shot him over an offer instead of that letter of intent. Maybe, I don't know. But like I said, I've done it both ways and I've gotten positive and, zero feedback. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
But, I appreciate you sharing, sir. Thank you so much.
I don't think it matters so much as the motivation level of that guy and the likability of your offer.
Yeah.
I had a similar thing happen to me this week where I made an offer about 30 grand below where a person wanted me to, and I never heard from them again. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy how that happens. I had a guy wanted out of another state, wanted 68. I sent him an offer for 45 and he took it. I mean, didn't even question it. So, I mean, people are in different situations and man, I tell you, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. And for the right seller, the right homeowner, the right motivation, it doesn't matter if it says at the top, if it says letter of intent or if it says purchase and sale or whatever it says, that they're just, all they see is relief.
Yeah.
Finally relief. This is awesome. So yeah, I don't know. Just go with your gut feeling, I guess, man.
No, I get you.
Yeah. There's not I don't think there's any magic to it. Maybe there is, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why I do it. To even be honest, I don't even know if I've ever even thought, why do I do that? I just do. So you kind of caught me. That's a good question.
Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you and your time
Hey,
always.
dude, man, I appreciate you too, Rick, man. Thank you for watching, dude. Thank you for getting up early on Saturday. And thank you, Edward. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everybody that's been watching over here on YouTube and Facebook, both. Love you guys. Love you. Love you. Thank you. If you haven't got the free stuff over at realestatewholesalersclub.com, do it. Text me, call me, hit me up on Facebook. If you're wanting to get into this business, let me know. I want to help. All right. So anyway, anybody else? Last thing, we'll close up.
Hey, Justin. One more thing. The guy I was speaking to you about is wholesaling to million. But I think his name is Kong. But what he does is he have a seller script that he sells.
Yeah.
And he be doing role playing, and he be ranking you. And I was gonna call in and do a role play with him on with his seller script versus your seller script. Which I mean,
yeah,
he's a lot more complicated because I don't really like scripts. I just like to go a freestyle.
Yeah.
But
what do you say? Did he say some stuff about me?
No. He just role playing. He had people to call his number, and then he would call them, and they had to role play with him.
Oh,
yeah. How he
close
them.
I do that.
Yeah, but he be really tweaking them, man, and he be ranking them from 1 to 10. And everybody I heard him role play with, he gave a 2 or 3. He like, boy, y'all need to change this. You need to change that.
Yeah. I'm nice about it though.
Yeah, but I mean, you finna go off next week though. I'm ready for it.
Man, that's right. We promised that, didn't we? We promised that it would get seriously hardcore on VIP.
Yeah, man. I think that's gonna make you a lot stronger though.
Man,
like
I totally agree.
Everything you in the Army, they don't give you no easy workouts. They make it hard for you.
No, it's got to be like that movie Over the Top. Turn your head around like a switch. Just flip the switch and just dive in it.
Right.
Guys, it's about mastering that phone call, but more so, it's about mastering your fear. That's it. The phone call.
Yeah. You should listen to him. That guy Kong, he got it mastered. He's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? And he's one of them guys, man. He didn't get into wholesaling, but his wife got him into it. And he was one of them guys that was so shy, he was scared to say hi to somebody. But you listen to him today, you'll never know.
I've seen it, man. I've seen the logo, Wholesaling to Millions. I don't know who it is though. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, his name is Kong. He's a Korean guy or something like that, but he's pretty good.
I'll check it out, y'all. Hey, love you. We'll talk to you guys again later. Hey, Wednesday night VIP role play. If you're in VIP, don't miss it. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for all you do, Justin. Appreciate you.
Have a great one.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye-bye then.